watched it once, and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
The Snow White controversy just took a turn that no one saw coming. Rachel Zegler, once Disney's golden choice to lead their live-action Snow White, now finds herself overshadowed by Brett Cooper, a rising star in a rival version of the classic tale. Fans are split, with one side embracing Cooper's faithful portrayal, while the other questions Zegler's controversial remarks about the original film.
You ever been to that Snow White ride at Disneyland?
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and it is I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Wait.
The tension doesn't stop there, as Zegler isn't handling the competition well. So, here's the big question. Is Disney's Snow White destined for a fairy tale ending, or has the magic already worn off?
Well, we didn't even see, but I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
Starting off with Disney's controversial move, or I'd rather say moves. When Disney announced Rachel Zegler, a talented Latina actress, as the new Snow White, the world was intrigued. It was bold, Disney taking its first big swing at reimagining an iconic character with a modern twist. Fans were excited to see a fresh take on the beloved fairy tale, and for many, Zegler's casting represented a step forward in diversity and representation. However, as the news spread, not everyone was on board. Snow White is a German fairy tale, and some argued that the casting strayed too far from its cultural origins. Social media was on fire, with debates erupting between those celebrating the change and purists who felt Disney was rewriting history.
Just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
But the real spark came from Rachel herself. In interviews, she straightforwardly called the original 1937 film outdated. She even took aim at Prince Charming, describing his relationship with Snow White as stalkerish. For some, this brought about humor, but for many lifelong fans, it was as if Rachel had shifted the focus away from celebrating the story's roots to something entirely different. And suddenly, she found herself at the heart of the controversy.
So it's not a progression at all to me. My issue with it is exactly what you said. There are actors, dwarf actors, that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year,
Disney wasn't just shaking things up with casting. They decided to rewrite more than just the lead role. The seven dwarfs, yes, the heart and soul of Snow White, were replaced with magical creatures. For fans, this creative decision felt like a betrayal. The dwarfs were family to Snow White, each with their own charm and quirks, not just some sidekicks to be replaced. The outrage was immediate. Many in the dwarfism community accused Disney of erasing important representation, turning their backs on a group that had historically been a part of the story's legacy. Faced with mounting backlash, Disney tried to course correct, promising to bring the dwarfs back. But their solution, a CGI-heavy reinterpretation, didn't help. When fans got their first glimpse, the comparisons to Shrek were merciless. The once beloved dwarfs were now lifeless, rather supernatural valley creations that lacked the magic of the original. Critics slammed the visuals as unappealing, and fans questioned why Disney hadn't hired real actors with dwarfism. Instead of fixing things, Disney's attempt only seemed to deepen the frustration, leaving audiences nostalgic for the charm they'd grown up with.
You've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Following the uproar over her remarks on the original film being outdated and dismissing Prince Charming as stalkerish, the controversy only deepened. Fans began questioning if Zegler truly understood the essence of the story she was tasked with bringing to life. Many saw her as not just modernizing Snow White, but rejecting it entirely. For longtime Disney fans, this wasn't just a new take, it was a betrayal. As if the situation wasn't already explosive, Zegler's political tweet "Free Palestine" added fuel to the fire. Ops. The statement, which came shortly after the trailer dropped, stirred up a new wave of backlash. Complicating matters, her co-star Gal Gadot, a vocal supporter of Israel, became an unintended target in the crossfire. Rumors of tension between the two stars began to circulate, with fans speculating how the strained relationship might impact the film's promotion. The project that once aimed to reimagine a timeless classic was now overshadowed by political drama and fractured public opinion. And talking about fans, the social media has been on fire with opinions about Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Some fans passionately defended her, praising her as a bold voice for modern storytelling. All Rachel Zegler said was that the love story between 21-year-old man kissing a 14-year-old while she was unconscious is outdated, and millennials have not let us know a single day of peace since, one user tweeted. Others, however, weren't as forgiving. Hashtag Rachel Zegler, the new hashtag Snow White, is the most unlikable actress I have ever heard. She hates her Snow White character, and after she came out against the original movie, she is now crying over the backlash. Hashtag narcissist, commented another. TikTok and Twitter were flooded with memes poking fun at her remarks, especially the infamous Stalker Prince comment. One viral meme read, "Prince immediately regrets waking Rachel Zegler with a kiss after she starts ranting about the patriarchy." On the flip side, many pointed out double standards. Harrison Ford hated Star Wars and people laughed. Rachel speaks her mind and she's dragged, tweeted a supporter. As Disney's Snow White stirred up controversy, the Daily Wire entered the spotlight with their own take on the classic tale, casting Brett Cooper as the iconic princess. Their version promised to stay faithful to the original fairy tale, traditional, authentic, and free from polarizing political themes. Fans, already frustrated with Disney's direction, eagerly welcomed this fresh alternative, sparking plenty of conversation.
Literally the one in that trailer, and I'm still like so excited and I get chills.
There I am, Gary, there I am.
The whole thing is just so cool. The moment when the music starts to crescendo as I turn around. When I first heard the music, I was like, stop right there. That's just it's so amazing.
Cooper, in sharp contrast to Zegler, embraced the role with gratitude and reverence for its legacy. She spoke of the timeless magic of the story, her enthusiasm shining through in every interview. When the teaser trailer dropped, fans were captivated. It had all the elements of the Snow White they remembered: magical forests, heartfelt storytelling, and a princess who truly felt like she belonged in a fairy tale.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
The difference between Cooper's respectful portrayal and Zegler's commentary was impossible to ignore. What began as a quiet alternative quickly gained momentum, becoming a beacon for fans seeking the nostalgia Disney's version seemed to lack. And wait, there's more. The controversy surrounding Disney's Snow White hit a new level when David Hand, the son of one of the original film's directors, entered the drama. For Eric Hand, Disney's live-action remake wasn't just another film. It was an insult to his father's legacy. He criticized it for losing the simplicity and sincerity that made the 1937 classic timeless. He argued that it felt more like a political statement than a fairy tale. Fans quickly backed Hand, sharing his frustration with modern adaptations that prioritize controversial agendas and messages over magic. Social media lit up with calls for Disney to return to storytelling that inspires wonder. Whether the studio will listen is unclear, but one thing's certain: fans want the classic Disney fairy tales back.
Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in, leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in, leaning us towards a world that will force her to have a baby.
As Brett Cooper's version of Snow White gains traction, insiders claim that Rachel Zegler isn't taking it well. Reports suggest she has privately expressed frustration, allegedly comparing the two films and insisting that her version is better. For fans, these whispers of rivalry have only fueled the drama. Social media has been buzzing with comparisons between the actresses, and the contrast couldn't be more stark. Fans are taking sides, with many feeling that Cooper's approach reflects the spirit of Snow White better than Zegler's modern feminist take. Whether the rumors are true or not, it's clear the public image battle is one Zegler seems to be losing. Disney's live-action remakes have been under fire for years, and Snow White seems to be following the same troubled path. Fans are noticing a pattern: modern updates that often overshadow the charm and magic of the originals.
Disney remake of The Little Mermaid has attracted a lot of attention. The diverse casting of Halle Bailey, a black American actress in the role of Ariel, raised a lot of eyebrows. This week, the Internet Movie Database has been forced to change its rating system for the movie after review bombers targeted the new live-action release.
Take The Little Mermaid, which, despite heavy promotion, struggled at the box office with $569 million worldwide, far below expectations for a Disney classic. Or Mulan, which completely removed iconic elements and barely scraped $70 million domestically. Audiences have been vocal, calling out these remarks for prioritizing political messaging over heartfelt storytelling. This trend isn't just about box office numbers, it's about trust. Disney once had the formula for timeless tales that blended innovation with nostalgia. Now, with Snow White taking creative liberties that many fans don't recognize. People are asking a simple question: when will Disney stop overcomplicating what made these stories beloved in the first place? Fans are tired, and if Snow White flops, it might just be the wake-up call Disney needs. The upcoming clash between Disney's Snow White and the Daily Wire's retelling feels like the ultimate Hollywood showdown. On one hand, Disney is banking on its legacy, hoping its modern feminist twist can capture a new audience. On the other hand, Brett Cooper's faithful adaptation is gaining momentum with fans who feel alienated by Disney's approach. The competition is tough. Predictions about box office performance are already leaning toward an upset. Could the Daily Wire's version, with its lower budget and fan loyalty, actually outperform Disney's high-profile production? If so, it would signal a seismic shift in Hollywood, proving that audiences still crave traditional storytelling over modernization. For now, all eyes are on the release dates as fans wait to see which Snow White reigns supreme. What do you think? Should Disney stick with its modernized version and keep Rachel Zegler? Or is it time for a new face?